Today, everyone, we face the dwindling hours of 2015. Now, just a few hours left before we go through yet another bomb. In 2012, and I wouldn't change a word of it today. It's a very powerful article. It will speak right to your heart if you allow it to. Give it to a friend, pass it to your neighbor. They need to hear this sentiment as well. We're starting up a brand new day. I'm thinking in a brand new way. New Year's Eve 2012, Unbidden thoughts. All of a sudden, there was a bone-chilling gust of frigid air right off the punishing Atlantic, filling the night. It was the kind of gust we here in Cambridge call the Montreal Express. Not merely cold, but gelid, polar, arctic, than which there is nothing colder but the morning after the greatest love of your life said goodbye, this time for good. Shivering, I had to get up. Present reality, even though freezing, being preferable to another minute of the dream being played out sharply in cinemascope in my brain. Ended I was marrying Hillary Clinton, and we were redecorating my condo as our love nest after a cosmic flood. Yikes! It was indeed time for this article, and the music for it came swiftly out of nowhere, saying, I think you've been looking for me. And indeed I had. I was smiling. This was how Marley, in clanking chains, of course, summoned Scrooge to his destiny, and took what happened to them to a literary agent. I am that literary agent, and I appreciated the reference. And this song by Gordon Matthew Thomas Sumner, born October 2nd, 1950, known to the world by his sobriquet, Sting. A name, a description, a declaration, a clear statement of what you must do when the world is too much with you late and soon. Yes, that's Sting. I don't think much about Sting. I'm not a rabid fan or anything close, but he's got the poet's own way of insinuating himself into my life at significant moments. His words are often minefields, often verbal shrapnel, the kinds of words one fastidious wordsmith appreciates in another, who, like you, demands respect for the language and mastery from himself. Cold reality. My hands are cold, my fingers are stiff. It is 3:25 a.m. and Sting's lyrical insights melodic, as deep as you want them to go, fill the crucial space between two ears. I am listening, because here is a man who has something important to say to me about the year now past, about you and me, and how we're glad to be alive and give thanks to whoever made it possible. The song is called Brand New Day, and I hadn't heard it since it debuted in 1999, just in time for the new millennium. I remember hearing this song in this very room where I sat in this very desk in this very chair as I watched the clock move inexorably to the first midnight of the new century. The Y2K midnight was supposed to bring cosmic computer chaos, so admonishing experts had told us. And so I, like so many others, worried myself into the new year, following the advent of midnight around the globe, only to discover that nothing happened anywhere. The biggest, same old ever. Yes, I was listening to this song that night. It couldn't really be so many years ago, could it? Go now and find it in any search engine and listen carefully. There's simply no immunity. There's no guarantee. 2012. I lived it, which is to say I was alone, I was together, I made money, I squandered money, I lied, I deceived, I was cruel, I was affectionate. I made messes and ignored them. I cleaned up messes made by others who ignored them. I cursed, I adored, I slept the sleep of the just, I just barely slept at all. I did random good deeds, I insulted those who meant me well. I hugged strangers and ignored those nearest and dearest. I ate too much cake and told others they shouldn't eat cake at all, then ate theirs. I knew the bite of the flesh. I abjured God, then went in panic search of him all over again. I was magnificent. I was squalid. I was the best of friends and the most unrelenting and tenacious of foes. I demanded mercy and gave none. I wanted to make a difference. The difference I made was minuscule and negative. I ate without savor, I loved without passion, and thought well of myself when there was not a single reason for so much conceit. I always took the easy way and had the temerity to tell others they must sacrifice when I would not. I took, always took, more than my share and bellowed that it was not more. I winked at injustice until I became injustice. I hated, I condemned, I demeaned, I disdained, I hurt whenever possible and denied whenever feasible. I exulted in the misfortunes of others and laid the burden of mine at the feet of God Almighty, whose name and name passed often through my lips. I chose to misunderstand when my understanding was facile, and blamed everyone but me, and what note was so readily apparent to others, but willfully ignored by me. And yet I never lost the deep belief that I was a hero to others, a paragon to myself. It was all this and more. I did all this and more in the tiniest morsel of time we call 1 year, as if it was something that could be neatly boxed and neatly understood. But even now, this year, waning, its end in sight, abides, with possibilities still to come before it is played out. Kaput, history, we are glad to dispose of and forget, as if forgetting was even an option. It isn't. Turn the clock back, all the way back. How many hours of 2012? How many hours of your life have you now wasted wishing you could regain even a single moment of that time? To live it, savor it, even in the most commonplace of activities. It is natural to think so, for our system is profoundly exasperating. You live that moment. It is yours. You want it back. You must have it back, no matter how badly you want it. You know just how badly that is. Right this minute, the sands of time are escaping through your open hands. Hands you long to close and stop the inexorable, but you cannot close them. And so you experience the pain of certain loss that defines each of us in a world that we live in, are destroying, but cannot stop and enjoy without anxiety. Each word you now read here takes you into a future that challenges us, a future we must engage to, whether we want to or not. We stand alone before eternity, and it frightens us to our very core. That is why next year, the year after that, and all the next years to come, you will fail to stand tall and courageous before the vast immensity we call the future. And why instead you will take what comfort you can from what our species is most expert at doing: dissipation, distraction, diversion, self-destruction. Only by such devices can we face that which most concerns us. And so we are profligate about the time which constitutes our essence. Sic semper gloria mundi, the only resolution that matters. At this moment of peril for each of us, all of us, for our planet and our cosmos, for our very God, what are we offering to change our course and destiny? Some apt for trivial resolutions about increased exercise and ways to diminish pounds. Others still seize upon any one or two of a myriad of possibilities to improve themselves. All petite, inconsequential, trifling, insignificant. Is this the best we can do against the daunting, monumental challenges we face? We must do better. And what better time to begin than now, as a new year signals brand new? What then must we resolve and do? Just one thing: love. For in this single thing there is everything and everyone. Where we dismissed and condemned, we must love. Where we demeaned and destroyed, we must love. Where we insulted and hated, we must love. Where we divided and estranged, we must love. And where we work to render asunder and alienate, we must love. Love is pain, I hear you say. Love has a cruel and bitter way of paying you back for all the faith you ever had in your brain. But it's the only and certain way to start up a brand new day that dawns radiant this very day.